Hello, everyone. We'll get started here in just a couple minutes. I want to give a chance for everyone who's planning on attending for the live session today to get a chance to join. Give it a few more seconds. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen for my presentation here. Oh, I think that's the wrong one. Okay, so that's sharing right. Great. Present. Okay, so thank you everyone for being a part of the webinar here today. We're going to be talking about the add-ons for Lutheran Service Builder. So quick overview, welcome, be here today. And I'm kind of the order of how we're going to go through things is, I'm going to have a few words here to start, welcoming you, etc., kind of setting expectations. We're going to go through a quick overview of the add-ons themselves, just so that we know what we're talking about. And then from there, I'm going to do a short demonstration on both Concordia Organist and One and All Rejoice, the topics of today's webinar. So my goal for today is not that this isn't led by our support team. I work in the marketing team here at CTS. My goal here is that you understand the value that this could bring to your church. This isn't going to be a hyper in-depth demonstration. This is supposed to give you a taste of what these add-ons can do. So that all being said, my name is Rob Davidson. I'm the manager of CTS Sales and Marketing. I've been with Concordia Publishing House now for about 2.5 years as of, I think, this Saturday. And so it's been absolutely wonderful. And through this experience of working with these amazing teams that build these products, I have come to just appreciate how much churches do to lead worship, to serve their congregations. And it's been absolutely incredible to be a part of the tools that help churches get a little bit more done or bring a little bit more to the worship service than would be necessarily possible within the amount of time constraints that they have. And I would imagine that everyone here, because we're talking about add-ons, that you either have Builder, Lutheran Service Builder, or have used it or very familiar with it, and that's why you're interested in learning about the add-ons. So the add-ons are supposed to kind of help you take an additional step beyond all of the great time savings and just that extra good stuff that Lutheran Service Builder brings. So let's go ahead and dive in. And right now I can't see the chat while I'm doing this presentation, but I will when I'm doing the demonstration. So if you have any questions, feel free to throw them into the chat, and then I will kind of, as I can, answer anything to make sure that this time today is as valuable as possible. So the first add-on we're going to talk about is Concordia Organist. So Concordia Organist is an add-on that gives you pipe organ digital recordings for all of the Lutheran Service Book hymns, and I believe some liturgies, sung liturgies throughout LSB, the Lutheran Service Builder, from the Lutheran Service Book. The price point is $300 per year, regardless of church size, And so, the value of that is compared to how much it takes to hire an organist for every Sunday. And so in that, comparison, it's an incredible savings. Especially, it's a lifesaver when you might not be able to have an organist on certain Sundays, or middle of the week, etc. So what I'm going to do is I have a Reformation Sunday service planned, and so I'm going to play some recordings and show you how to kind of set that up really quickly in Service Builder. The next thing we're going to talk about after that is the add-on One and All Rejoice. So this is an expansion. You go beyond just the Lutheran Service Book to include the One and All Rejoice children's hymnal. So if you are planning services for a school chapel, for more youth-related events, this is children's choir, etc. This is a great resource to expand the catalog of hymns that are available within Lutheran Service Builder. It also includes additional liturgies and psalms and some prayers. So I'm going to show you where that additional information can be found and how it's seamlessly added to your bulletin building in Service Builder. So with that, and it's $60 a year for that additional content. So with that all being said, let's jump into the demonstration. I don't see any questions yet, but let's then move forward. So the first one, kind of like I mentioned, we're going to be looking at Reformation Day. So hopefully everyone can see my screen here. So I'm going to pull this up, and you can see that I'm looking at kind of the service plan section here on Reformation. For Reformation Day. And I thought, so I'm going to try to refresh because I did pick out some hymns. Yes, great. Okay, so that is fantastic. I was getting nervous there for a second. So you can see here, so when I pull up my bulletin, so you can see that I've already built out a service here. So this includes some very iconic hymns like Mighty Fortress is Our God, and others that are related to Reformation Day, right? And I would imagine everyone knows how to find hymns that are suggested for the service. So I have a couple here for the distribution. So I think I have like 5 hymns total. So if I go then up to my service plan and I click this button here, Prepare Playlist, that's going to bring me into the Concordia Organist section of Builder. So Organist has already been activated on my account, and so it brings me to this environment where I can see a preview of all of the hymns here that I'd be using for this Sunday. So one of the things that my computer is notorious for is not letting me play music while I'm recording. So I have my second computer here. So I'm going to go ahead and play some of these recordings to give you a taste of just the quality that it comes. One of my favorite stories when thinking about Concordia Organist is one of my colleagues, Ken Allmeyer. He walked up to Pastor after one service at a church he was going to and complimented Pastor on his organist. The pastor then replies that it was recordings from Concordia Organist. It wasn't even a live organist. And so that's how good these recordings are. So I'm going to go ahead and hopefully we can hear these. I'm just playing a sample here. And then this is the Kyrie. So okay, so that was short. Here's a Mighty Fortress is Our God. So I'm clicking this button here. That's all I'm doing. But I just want to make sure you're able to hear it. So you can tell that these are high quality recordings. So from that point, once I have my service built, my hymns are in, what I can then do is click export, and what I'm going to get just by simply doing this, oh, you must subscribe to Concordia Organist. Maybe I don't have it activated on. So what you would do is you would just export from this view right here, and you would get a zip file of all of these MP3s to then play however is convenient for your church. So it's a very straightforward, easy process to get these MP3s and then start utilizing them. So the next thing I'm going to show today is the One and All Rejoice. So I have Advent 1 kind of picked out for this. So what I've done here, I picked out a couple songs here that are from the One and All Rejoice hymnal. Like We Light the Candle, the Advent Candle, that's from that. If you're ever looking for an entire collection of the One and All Rejoice hymns, you can click here to load all of the hymns, and then if you scroll down, it's important to note right here at the top, it'll show you what group, what book you're pulling this content from. So I'm going to scroll. This is Creative Worship, and now I should be about, here we go. One and All Rejoice starts about here. So you can see that we have We Light the Candle, and I have these other options when it comes to content for the hymns from that hymnal, the One and All Rejoice hymnal. So I also have a Come On, Come On manual. So you can see there's a little bit of a crossover when it comes to the content, but the goal is to give you the entire hymnal as, you know, in a very easy to use way. So I've, built out the service for this. So then I'm going to jump out of here, and then I'm going to hit Prepare Bulletin. So one of the things that also One and All Rejoice allows you to do is it has another, so I think we're all used to kind of the typical default format for Builder when it comes to building out kind of the formatting. But One and All Rejoice also has its own format. So you can kind of see that there are some small changes from that format, and it's just kind of that kind of additional touch for your preferences. And you can see that I have some of this content here, and like always, I can substitute that with another hymn from One and All Rejoice. So I went down here and I scrolled to this section, One and All Rejoice, and I'm in Advent. Let's go ahead and swap it out. There we go. It's already there. Perfect. Okay. Well, that is the small taste for both Concordia Organist and One and All Rejoice. What's next for us is just to talk about any questions you have, and then we'll call it. It's a very short webinar today. So I would love to kind of open it up to questions and go from there. So I'm zoomed out so I can see the chat. But so there we go. That's it. Simple but powerful. If anyone has questions, if they're watching the recording of this, feel free to message or call our team. They are of software consultants. They've been working with CTS, depending on who you're talking to, for up to over 20 years. And they're absolutely incredible at connecting you with the right resources and making sure that if you are thinking about choosing one of these add-ons, that it's implemented in your church quickly and efficiently. Well, I will stay on the line, but for anyone else that doesn't have any questions, thank you so much for being here today. I'm available through the email above. ctscommunity@cph.org to answer any questions now or in the future. And otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. All right. Michael asked, can you expound on the Rejoice, one and all Rejoice formatting changes? So I am not an expert, but let's go ahead and play with it a little bit. So I'm going to get out of this kind of section here. So you can see I have that format setting right now. I'm in the Advent order of service underneath one and all Rejoice. So that's another value piece there. So as you can see, I can kind of jump from creative worship style. You can kind of see as that's built out. This is default. And then this is the format for one and all Rejoice. So you can see the fonts change, the spacing changes. So it's primarily stylistic. Like there's no content changes with that specific toggle. How is it, Michael asks, how is it different or similar to the hymnal? So like the Lutheran Service book, it is compiled by either composers of old or modern composers that are trusted by the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. It is entirely made by those people, I believe. The big difference is that it's different songs. There is a lot of additional content that's specifically geared toward children's choirs and children's services. What about the liturgical parts of the service? That's a great question, Linda. So let's go ahead and I'll kind of just I'll jump to the service plan. And then, actually, let's just jump to a new service. Plan the service. Order of service. Okay. So these are kind of my sections for the liturgical part. And you can see the order of service, I have all these additional sections that come with One and All Rejoice. So it's custom built for One and All Rejoice, but they're focused on different seasonal or topical liturgies. So we have Advent, Christmas and Epiphany, Lent, Easter, all the high holidays. But then we have Liturgy of Praise, Thanksgiving, Baptismal Remembrance, and others that are kind of additional. So I can go ahead and pull one up. So if we do health and healing here, and then let's prepare bulletin. So we have health and healing. So this is kind of for that, the liturgy that you're getting. So cleanse us from all evil, bring us to everlasting life. So here we go. Linda, I hope that fully answers kind of what you're asking about. if I don't have another question submitted here in a second, I will be heading out in just a minute or so. We get a download now. How do we record an entire service? We get a download now. Oh, by download now, are you talking about the bulletin, Linda? Because that would be like a download like of a Word doc. So this would be for the music on Concordia Organist. This would be recordings for the music, the pipe organ pieces within the hymns. So that would be as simple as, well, we have a company that plays our organ, including the liturgical parts of the service. Well, then you might not need this, Linda. I think where the benefit comes in is that Concordia Organist potentially could be cheaper than what that company that you're using. That's a thought. Or effectively, if there's time in which they're not available, you have a backup. And when you're on a Sunday and my team isn't in to take a call and process a purchase, right, you're ready. That's the only additional value I would see. But it seems like a lot of your needs are covered. When you say entire service, are you talking about liturgical pieces as well? I can jump over there. Yeah, so I know some of the liturgical pieces are part of that playlist. So you can see the Kyrie short, so that's part of it. The introit, I believe, is being said. It's not sung. So I guess this is, so these pieces would be a part of it. So I'm playing it. I don't know if you can hear this, Linda, but that would be part of it as well. So that's all included. Here, let me pull it up on my other computers to give. So this is the Gloria. So you are getting those liturgical pieces, Linda. So, and again, that's just a sample. That's why I cut off. Michael, what is the setup for hearing the service from a sound system? So, Michael, I think it would be incredibly straightforward. If you have a PC, you could use the Windows Media Player and then just have someone playing each one as it's needed. So that's incredibly simple. In a lot of the churches that I have seen this used in, one of their elders is just hitting play. So it's pretty simple. So if you guys just have an aux cord that is connected to your speakers, that's all you need. So from your laptop or what have you to your sound system. if you are looking at kind of taking the next step, you can make the request for the subscription. So this is the kind of the marketing page for Lutheran Service Builder. So it goes here, you go to pricing, scroll down to add-ons, and then you can pick whichever one. And so then you just click request, and then you'd fill out this form, and then my team would get it, and then we'd be reaching out to you. So very straightforward. How do you get the screen to look like that? This screen? So I'll kind of show you how I got here. So this so I'm kind of on the calendar. I go to Reformation Day. So this brings up my service plan. I then click prepare a playlist, right? So that's the Concordia Organist piece. So you can access it without Concordia Organist. It's the exporting that makes it mandatory. And so then from there, that's just me clicking one of these. And so I clicked Gloria, and that's where we were. And so this is giving me the option to pick a different, in Divine Service 1. If I did this, I don't know if this changes too much. Yeah, so that's substituting different things, but from one and all rejoice, Gloria in excelsis. So this is content from that. From one and all rejoice. And then the export button would be right here. Just hit export and then zip. And then that would export a compressed file that when I open it up, there's all my MP3s. All right. Well, I think that's going to be all the questions today. My team's available if you have any other questions. Our phone number's on the CTS site. If you call customer service, they'll get you over to us. Our email is ctscommunity@cph.org. But otherwise, thank you all for being here today, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your day. Take care.